What? Maybe I should have been like humming and singing along to the music or something. 833-212-1017 is the number. Was that trying to dance? Were you trying to dance? You look. He looked. I can't say what he looked like because it would be offensive to some people. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host. Hey, leave the lights alone. Get your hand back in there. Oh, I tell you, people just try to mess with you. Take a day off and see what happens. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. 833-212-1017 is the number. This is open line. This is open line Tuesday. I'm not waiting till Friday. It's open line because Friday is pop-off Friday. So here's the kicker. Here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. If you have any questions about anything in life, of course, I always reserve the ability to not answer the question or to defer to no comment. But if you have a question about anything you've always wanted to know, we can try to find out or look it up or figure out what's going on together. 833-212-1017 is the number. We got the top 5 at 5. This week, we have some folks coming in to talk about the links in there. Denim and Diamond, that'll be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on this week, so it'll be a good time. But I'm just here to answer any question you may have. You keep calling me a know-it-all, so I may as well act like I'm a know-it-all and answer questions. So if you have any questions, hit me on the talk and text line, and I will do my very best to answer honestly, authentically. And go from there. Because I've been listening to a lot of motivational speakers over the weekend. I kind of sat around. I did say what I said I was going to do Friday. I set a bonfire in my backyard and kind of chilled and sat there and, all that stuff. Remember, you can join us here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitter or X, 101.7 The Truth. And that's our handle and all that. See, they done broke the microphone. Look at that. See, now you got to tighten it. So I think, wow, we got questions already. I think I'm just in one of those open days where you can ask me any question. I talk like I'm Black Dumb. I don't complete words and speak Ebonics. Talking text line said, did you take the vaccine? Yes, I did. I had to take the vaccine because at that current time, I was working for a law enforcement agency part-time, and they said that if you were going to work there, you had to take the vaccine. Now, how I feel about the vaccine now and how I felt about the vaccine then differs because I have more data and more information, and I'm kind of upset about some stuff. I needed to take it because my family has a history of upper respiratory disease, infection, stuff like that. And so I made sure I took it. But I still monitored myself because of having a family history of upper respiratory issues, and taking the vaccine could mask symptoms that I need to know about. And so in that instance, I literally tracked myself. I did the healthcare 2.0 thing where I tracked myself every day. What was my temperature when I woke up? What was my blood sugar when I woke up? My heart rate? Did I, feel warm? How I felt? Just general. So when I went to the doctor, I had, 2, 3, 4, 5 months worth of information that, hey, when this happened, or I ate this the night before, kept track of my meals as best I could. I could tell what was causing what, and I adjusted my diet and adjusted things, and it worked out. So taking the vaccine, now that we know so many things that were just bogus that people said, and so many ways that we counted people who died with the vaccine in a car crash, but they counted as a COVID death because the person died and they were COVID positive, even though COVID didn't cause it. I would think you would count it with the people who caused that COVID caused their death, that they had comorbidities and they had issues, but they counted everything. And so that means that number is not as high as people said it was. I mean, that's factual data. Like people have said, yeah, it's not. Hospitals got paid. Mortuaries got paid. So, right? I think it would be great to just have accurate numbers so that we know the impact that COVID had on us. Number one. Number two, there were some things done in the beginning that caused people to die, like nursing homes, sending people back to areas that were elderly who clearly needed the vaccine, but got treated, and then we didn't have a vaccine. They sent them back to that environment and they died. And I think that was unconscionable. That we saw where companies didn't like who the president was, so they withheld the vaccine until after Biden won, stuff like that. That's unconscionable. I think we got to throw politics and how we feel out the window when it comes to lives. And so I wish we had had accurate data during that time, but Republicans were acting a fool. Democrats were acting a fool. And I think hopefully we should have learned from it, but I don't know. Spike Lee said, how old is the oldest rookie been on MPD? I think either 54 or 58 years old. During my era, I think the oldest was 54. So the caller said, good doc, how you feeling today, brother? Did you get some green rubbing alcohol? No, I did not. I took some Tylenol arthritis and I went and sat myself down in front of a nice cozy fire in the evening when the sun went down and it was dark, and I took pictures of the fire and the flames and just kind of sat around and vegetated. So it was great. And I did that. Well, Saturday morning I had to leave town. So I left town, drove 5 hours, took care of some family business. And then I was there and I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm just leaving. I was going to stop at a hotel and I said, you know what? Forget it. And so I left. Stopped at a rest area, set my timer for 30 minutes, woke up, drove home. So I left at about 5 a.m. Saturday and got home at about 2 a.m. Sunday morning. And then I slept all day, did the church thing, streaming, and then did nothing all day, and then went to chill in the backyard. Like that was my weekend. Spike Lee said, I think I might go out for MPD. Okay, how old are you, Spike Lee? Because that, age being young doesn't mean you'll make it, and being older doesn't mean you'll make it. Like it's literally a process. So, knock yourself out. If you have any questions about it, I can answer them. Right? I'm not going to give away any secrets, but if you have any questions about it, he said, I'm 53. I think he is a he. Might be a she. 53 years old. Here's what I say, Spike Lee. If it's on your bucket list and it's something you've always wanted to do it. I have a couple more things on my bucket list, about 4 or 5 things that I actually want to do. And I have no problem saying it, even though I may not do it. One is publish a book. One is to become a paid keynote speaker, which I do some of now. One is to buy a house in an area. I'm not going to tell y'all where, because then y'all might show up. Buy a house in an area where I love to go, where I love to visit. I'm not going to say where. Actually, 2 areas. What else? What else is on my bucket list that I actually want to do? One bucket list was to win a Broadcasting Association award for best show, and I did it, right? Wisconsin Broadcasting Association. This past May, I won for last year. So I got that, right? So that means the truth was in, you know, on the board for the second year, and we won multiple awards. Tori Lowe's specials won first place, right? Sherwin Hughes placed. So with that, you know, I've kind of got 3 or 4 of them. But I want to hear from you. What questions do you have? 833-212-1017 is the number. It's a fact that millions of people died. Nobody's saying it's not a fact. You're missing the point. It wasn't 3 or 4 victims that were counted as COVID victims that died. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died who died with COVID that they counted as a COVID death when in fact they died from something else. You know, car crash or head injury, heart attack, stuff like that. So don't get it twisted. I'm not making that like go do some good investigative what's the word I'm looking for? Research with some reputable things, not just things that you agree with, right? Don't just go to CNN. Go everywhere. Look it up. I'm not saying I never said millions of people didn't die from COVID. What I'm saying is that you need to be, and thank you for that. You need to be proactive and find out information for yourself, because we need to understand that we need to make sure we're all safe and we have accurate information. Don't let other people tell you what's accurate when they're not the people. Listen to everyone and make up your mind. Go to your doctor and make up your mind. Don't listen to everybody else, or listen to your medical doctor who knows you, knows your history, stuff like that. And then finally, Spike said, "Remember, you talked to my son. Do it. Do it. Absolutely, Spike. Do it. Do it. Both of y'all go back. Both of y'all. Knock it out." Can you imagine that, a father and a son in the police academy together at the same time? You could be a little happier about it there, Missy. It's like, yeah. Must be Tuesday. It was so all I could see was from her eyes up, and her eyes was like, yeah, whatever, right? And when you don't see the whole face, we fill in stuff, right? Or people will look at you in a way and you be like, I know what you're thinking. Well, actually, you really don't, but we make ourselves feel good. Should I take this call? Should I really take this call? I don't know. I probably shouldn't take this call. What's up, Tony? He don't call nobody. He just, when it's convenient for him, he calls. He used to call all the time. Now he don't call it out. He'd be like, yeah, whatever. I've moved on to bigger, better things. Yeah, stop working. And then I'm off the radio, so then it won't matter, right? What's up?
It sounds like you had a pretty good weekend. I'm glad to hear that. Get to relax a little bit.
Yes, I did.
But I wanted to tell you, I know you hadn't done this in a long time, but I'll touch on the COVID thing in just a second. But I know you hadn't talked about this particular thing. It's your 100 books. And I've been meaning to tell you about this book called Medical Apartheid. I wouldn't say I just got done reading it. I do really, the Audible books. And man, it is mind blowing, some of the stuff that they did. It breaks it down from like the beginning up until present day of what people have been doing. Well, the medical field has been doing to us. And so, most people, I think they know about the Tuskegee experiment, but they always get it, the Tuskegee Institute experiment. They always kind of get it with the Tuskegee Airmen, which is none of them were actually tested but it was the Tuskegee Institute. So I was like, okay, cool, that's a great clarification because I was one of those people as well. Really is informative. Some things that they created, I'm just like, wow, how is it? One, how is this possible? And two, you have like scientists would come up with this type of stuff. And this is, I just, another example. So it was a scientist that lived in South Africa, during the whole apartheid uprising. So the scientists created a pill for the CIA agents that were going to infiltrate the apartheid movement and the protesters. This pill can turn your skin color black. I was just like, nah, this is a sci-fi movie. This can't be real. But no, I looked it up. The doctor was, they tried to prosecute him. But unfortunately, when you got so many people behind you, they're kind of like, you're untouchable. And his colleagues that were in there with him, tried to like, we'll speak up on him. This is what the guy was doing. And it was just how he was trying to poison people with certain things. The plot to poison Nelson Mandela. I'm just like, this is mind-boggling.
Is there any good sourcing in terms of credible sources that back up the data that he's putting out there?
Yeah. It's well, I'm driving now, but it's a female that wrote the book. But yeah, it's all her sources are credited in the book, and so you can definitely go look it up. Like you were saying, don't take my word for it. But she has a lot of backing behind her.
All right. Right.
Heck, for it's maybe fourth, fifth round. It's a little disheartening that you were speaking about earlier that people were bamboozled, the first go round, and so we just got to be more cautious if they say try to run this play again. That like, look, first off, you told us too many lies in the beginning, especially when it came to it. Well, if you get the shot or the jab, you can't get COVID and you can't pass it. Oh, well.
Correct. So then they switched it to, well, it'll stop the symptoms and it won't be as severe, which is what it was in the first place. Yeah. And so it's just weird.
Oh, but you had symptoms of COVID, so you didn't die from, the gunshot wound. You died from COVID.
Well, there was a woman on TV that actually admitted that. Like she admitted that we're going to count it as a COVID death. My issue is nobody challenged her. Nobody said, "Excuse me, how can you do that? Like, aren't you artificially inflating the numbers?" And granted, it may have been out of how many million? It might have been maybe, I don't know, 40, 50,000. I don't know what the number is. But at least somebody should have looked at accurate numbers so we can get an actual read on the depth of what it is. Just like when it first started, they said that Black people were the reasons why we had COVID, which turned out to be completely and totally incorrect. That they came in and did a study in Sherman Park to talk to all these Black people because they were trying to find out how COVID spread and all this. Like, are you kidding? Like, you got, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million, to do a study when it didn't start with us. Like, what? But yeah, it's unfortunate.
See this, especially on our radio stations, and it's just frustrating that every time you turn around, oh, Black people are more susceptible for this. They're at a higher rate for this. I'm like, man, we're at a higher rate for everything. Come on, man, this is ridiculous. It's like, is it either true or is it not true?
Well, but you have to look at it that you have to understand the social determinants of that, and those are the real reasons that we have issues. Is because of the social determinants. Because we've been cut off. We have food deserts. We have all those things, access to healthcare, that are causing us. And then on top of that, the way we eat, how we eat, what we eat, you know, at some point it's going to come back and bite us, and we need to change us. We really do. Yeah, but Tony, I don't know if we can generalize about it, because COVID really did affect different people in different ways. So, all right. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I don't get the call in as much as I do.
No. You do know that's actually a thing you have to do on purpose. And so you just don't, and that's okay. All right. All right. Talk to you. You too. 833-212-1017 is the number. I only got one more thing to say, right? It's Open Line Tuesday.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Hey, good morning. Y'all should change this station to the butt naked